Hey everyone, it's your host Cyber and welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys on how to update your ESR in your Open PS2 loader on your PS2. Now, I've seen a lot on the forums, especially PS6 place, where people don't know how to update. And when I first started the PS2 custom modding scene, I didn't know how to update either. There was very little instructions on how, and you basically were given some instructions on PSX Palace on how to do it, but it wasn't like, you know, it was very complex, so you got really confused to how to do it. So you basically had to do it on your own, and once you actually do it on your own and you realize what to do, you it becomes really easy for you because you do it a lot, you have done it, and you know exactly what to do. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys on how to do it. So the first thing we want to do is head over to your browser, and um, we're going to have to now search up ESR PS2, and we are going to download that. So the PS2 ESR is basically allows you to basically play your digital games. I don't know, have a disc on me right now, but I do have it somewhere. I did have somewhere. I have it somewhere else inside of a case. Um, but ESR allows you to play burn games on a PS2 without necessarily having to buy the game actually. And though I highly condemn piracy. I do recommend you burning to rip your own games that you purchased and burning them onto a disc, and so you can play as a backup in case your primary disc breaks or something, and you don't have the money or funds to buy a new copy. Now, with very little rarity in these days, with limited amount of supplies, we want to keep that alive. So ESR allows you to basically just run game backups in a way that allows you to keep playing your favorite games. So if your original OEM disc breaks or something, you have a backup of it, so you know how you can play it no matter what. So the latest version is R10, and it's ESR R10F, and this is the latest version. And you wanna go ahead and download the latest version of ESR. Is going to take you to your downloads. We're going to go ahead and we are going to extract ER10F. I do apologize for this mess of downloads folder. Now we're going to take this ESR folder and we're going to move it onto our desktop because we're going to do that shortly. The next thing we need to search up for is we need to search up for Open PS2 Loader. I spelled loader wrong. There we go. Now open PS2 Loader. Here we go, OPL. And it's going to take you to this page. Now the latest version is 1.1.10. I would not go, and there's different versions of this, so I'll show you when you download the free external device, free external thing. So stay away from the version 1.20 beta. It's not worth it. It's not working. As I can see, when I tried this version, what happened was the main menu wouldn't work. It wouldn't scroll down, up or down. It would just be broken, and it was just more of annoyance. So in games, I don't know if games work on this version. That's why it's in the beta. So you're most likely never want to go for version 1.20. Go for 1.10, and we're gonna head and download this. This will tell. There's also a changelog. What's new in OPL? What's the known issues? Now this issue right here, where it says movie playback hang on HDD after new IOP toolchain implemented on hashtag 406. Now I never had this issue because I don't play a lot of games. But if you do have this issue, you can always downgrade to a different version of Open Ps2 Loader. And this is the latest one where you see on the handhelds where it's like cool and crap like that. And this is the version 1.1.0 is your best way to go. It's the latest stable version, and that should be. And I recommend it. Once you go down here, you scroll down, and we're going to head over, and we're just going to download the original 1.10. We're not going to go ahead and download any of these because we do not need these. And now we're going to head over to our folder and we're going to bring down our browser. We're going to head over and we're going to go into extract open PS2 LD, and it should now be in a folder. Now we're going to take this folder and we're going to move this to our desktop, and now we should be good to go. You also want to have a USB drive plugged in into your PC, because this and it needs to be formatted into FAT32, because you'll need it to transfer the files from one place to another. And it's much more better doing it this way than doing it over FTP, because FTP can be very unpredictable, and it's just going to be very annoying. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to deal with it. So it's the best way if you're to do it on using a USB. Now, here's the thing. I have it somewhere putting here. So this flash drive I have is a 32 gigabyte flash drive. It's FAT32 and it's USB 2.0. It's a little bit above the PS2's, rating of 1.1, but that's okay because you can do up to 3. I think you could do up to 3.0, I believe. But the speeds are always going to be 1.1. Now, if your USB drive isn't working and it's having issues where it's not being detected by Launch Elf, then what you want to do is and this is really weird, you want to grab your PSP. The PSP is it may be a console, and many people might not think of it, but the PSP is actually compatible with the PS2 because there are some games that utilize the PSP, and that's what's beautiful about it. And I had to do this with mine PS2 because the flash drive is messed up. I don't know what's wrong with it, but it works on computer, but not on the PS2. But when I tried this, it will work perfectly. When I connect to it, it's just going to tell you trying to connect and stuff like that, but it's already connected. It's just weird how it works. So yeah. So once you do that, you can transfer it to a folder that you want to, and so this way you can do copy and paste on your PS2. So as long as you know how to use ULaunch Elf, then you pretty much know how to copy and paste and move files from one place to another. So we have two files. So I made this. Actually, let me turn off auto arrange icons. So I have these two folders. I have MCO, we have ESR, and we have OpenPS2LD. But before we begin, I want to let you all know that I do have a 4K display. The screen is going to be a more bigger, and I'm actually recording this in native 4K resolution. So you may notice that there's a difference with quality compared to what I used to do. So, and this is going to be uploaded raw because unfortunately, Microsoft decided to pull my my video editor that I use on Windows from the Microsoft Store, so I no longer have access to it, which kind of sucks. But it's okay. I've been worse. So the first thing you want to do is open your memory card. So I have copied this from the actual PS2. This is that file system you see here is exactly what you'll see on the memory card on your FreeMake Boot memory card. Anywhere you have FreeMake Boot, this is exactly what you're going to see. I copied everything from my PS2 just into like a separate folder, and I call it MC0 to simulate memory card 1, like the first one slot, and copied it to my PSP, and then I'm on my PC, and I moved it to my PC, so this way I can simulate the way how it is for like if you had a PS2. Now you can see you have apps, you have all the system files, you have boot, OPL, PCB, and system config. Now, when you want to do this, when you want to update, we're gonna update ESR, and we're gonna update Open Ps2 Loader. Now, here's the thing: all these folders right here, from these folders right here, all the way from apps to the last system folder, ignore. We don't need them. From here to all the way to here, ignore, because you don't need them. The only folder that you need to mess with is the boot folder. This boot folder has everything such as all your apps, all the things that's basically whenever you click something in the FreeMake Boot, when you boot PS2 and you click something, it will launch one of these elves. Like if you click ULaunch or HD Loader, is going to load the HD Loader elf. If you open PS2 Loader, it will open this one. So the way how you do this is I want to recommend you guys to do this before you go ahead and attempt to just copy and paste. Is make a backup of your current Open PS2 your files. You want to copy and paste here. We're going to copy and paste. This is our backup. You can rename it. You can rename it and put underscore backup so you know exactly what it is. Backup, and then we're going to go ahead and find ESR. This is ESR.elf. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy that one, and we're also going to paste it here. Now we'll also name that one ESR underscore backup. So now we have those two files backed up. We don't have to worry if we mess up. We can always restore the two previous backed up files by renaming them back to their original state, ESR.elf, and then OpenPS2LD.elf, and it will work perfectly fine. I had to do this first because I had to make sure when I was doing it myself, I didn't want to mess up. And when I did do this for the first time, I completely messed up. So I may make an error in this video, so this is why I'm telling you to back up and retrace your steps. So I apologize if something happens in this video that doesn't go to plan on your end. So that's why I told you to make a backup first before you do this. So now we're gonna go in and we're gonna update ESR. Now there are three files in here. I can't remember exactly which one I have specifically used, but I'm pretty sure that we don't use the mcard one and we don't use the direct one. I believe you use the direct off, but I would say using the direct off first. If that works for you, then okay. If it doesn't, then it's going to be direct. I can't really tell because, as I said, when I did this a very long time ago, and I should have made this video a long time ago. But it's pretty confusing. I am aware of that. I am sorry, but here's my advice. I would start off with the direct off first. Once you do that, update it, you do it, then test it, pop in a backup game, and see if it boots. If it boots with no issues, then you're good to go. If it doesn't, if it doesn't work, then you might want to switch to direct. PS2s are different, models are different. I have a 5001 series, and PS2, fat PS2, and I think I had to use direct off because it didn't boot with a direct or the mcard. So once you do that, you're gonna make a copy of this one onto your desktop. And what you're gonna do is you're going to take it all and rename it, all capital letters, ESR.elf. Now, if you can't see the extensions on your computer, you can head over to your control panel, head over to Appearance and Personalization, click Show Hidden Files and Folders, click this one, Show Hidden Files and Folders and Drives, and then uncheck the Hide Extensions and for known file types. What this will do is allow you to see the file extension and change the file extension to anywhere. This also helps you prevent viruses from hiding and pretending to be a file. So yeah, this is a good thing. Now, you're going to take this file. Make sure you do not rechange back the other ones until you fully copy this. So when you're on their drive, I would suggest moving it instead of copying it. So we're going to say we're going to move it because we want to make sure that, okay, if something messed up, we can keep it separate from our ESR backup, because if you have them in the same place and you try to change the backup back to ESR, it won't let you because you already have one already there. And you can do everything on the PS. You can rename it on the PS2 too, so you don't really need a PC just to rename it. So which is a good idea. So once you do that, you got the correct file. You found the correct file for your system, and we're gonna head on over and transfer it to the MC0/boot folder. It's gonna ask you to overwrite the file. This also applies, I think, for the PS2. It asks you if you want to overwrite it. Just click OK. It will overwrite it, and boom, you're good to go. You have updated ESR. Now for Open Ps2 Loader, we're going to head over and open Ps2 Loader, and we are going to go into here. Now the only file that you really need is the Open Ps2LD-1 version v1-1-0elf. Now what you need to do with this one, we're going to take this and we're going to put it on our desktop. Now we're going to take this folder and we are going to rename it. And we're just going to remove the v110 and just have it saying open ps2ld.elf, all in capital letters. Now take that file from your PS2. If you're doing this on PS2, it's just your your MAS folder in you launch Elf is where your flash storage device is, and that's where you're going to copy that, and you're going to copy to that. You can copy multiple of them at once. You can just mark them and then press copy over the file folders, and then it'll copy both of them, both files simultaneously. And I actually learned that. I never knew that you could do that. I just learned that. That's how I was able to do this video really fast. So once you take this new update, you'll transfer it over, and we're going to overwrite the previous version on here. Now you have the latest version of Open PS2 Loader. Now, if you got in your storage, if you got your free boot already pre-made from online like eBay, Newegg, etc., wherever you get it from, and you start doing this, you'll notice that they'll have Open PS2 LD, and then they'll have the same one where it just has Open PS2 LD and then the version. The good thing about if you get those kind of ones is because you can know exactly what version of Open PS2 Loader you have installed on the memory card. And it's pretty nice because you can know, okay, maybe I should update this. Now the one they give you on Free Boot, which I have personally seen, I have the version 1.966, I think. Let me just look at I have version 1.966 for MX4 SIO, and it's pretty darn nice. But I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I got mine from online, so that's how I know that if they sometimes will do that, they'll just leave the files, because most of the time when they do them, they don't know themselves if they really need the file. So you don't really need those. You can actually delete those because you don't see in here. I deleted it, and I kept the only thing I kept was Open PS2LD.elf, and it was perfectly fine. Now here's the moment of truth. The first thing you want to do is, once you have it installed, you want to make sure you do not delete your backups, because you need those backups just in case something goes wrong. Just a forewarn. I'm sorry if I'm looking at that, because I'm actually I forgot I'm having a camera, so I don't usually use cameras. So once you actually do that, you go into your PS2 and you turn it off. You turn it off and then restart it, and you should now see, go into Free Boot. Open the first thing you want to test is Open PS2 Loader. It will pop up. You'll see it'll take a bit, and then it will load up. It will automatically detect your games, so no worries. Either if it's changing your things in configuration, your configurations will remain the same. So once it boots up, you can change the settings if you want to. I think there's new additional settings in the previous versions that they had installed, and it will look different. It's not going to have like the back cover. Some covers features are limited, so like if you had it like in the previous version of the one that came with mine, usually it allowed you to have a back cover, so you saw the back cover of the game, like a gameplay kind of thing. But this one, the newest version 1.1.0, all it does is just shows you the disc and the cover, and that's basically it. And it shows you the name, and it's pretty convenient. I know that's not like a lot of features. You can update it as much as you want, and then once it boots, you'll need to test ESR. So you could do it two ways. I would recommend you taking your backup disk and putting it into your PS2, actually reboot it and put it into your PS2 and let it load. It will load automatically like a regular PS2. And what will happen with the ESR 10, it removes the color RGB colors, so you don't see the RGB. And this is good if you have a seizure, if you're sensitive to colors like flashing colors, and you are sensitive to have a seizure. This is a great update because it removes that RGB, so it just boots in the game. It does take a little longer. It does take time, so just give it a few minutes, because it's doing the same process as if it were RGB, just without the RGB. And then if it boots and the game loads, then you know you got it installed correctly, and you don't have to do anything furthermore. You don't have to keep the backups anymore, because the backups are useless. But if you want to, they're optional. If you want to restore if you need to restore the old previous version on there, if you're having issues with the current version. But yeah, that's how basically update the programs on the PS2. It also applies to other apps. I really haven't gotten to the app updating, but pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope the camera experience was something worth it. If you want to see me do more videos with the camera on, let me know, because it's worth a try. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.